All right, we're live on the internet. We're doing it. Internet, we're here. Hi, internet. Hello. Welcome to Get Your News On with Ron. Little bonus stream. Not really, but I'm trying to do more stuff like this. I want to have more guests where we talk about topics where we kind of have fun. I don't do guests on the usual Get Your News On with Ron stream anymore because it kind of contradicts the whole premise of what Get Your News On with Ron is. So now I just have guests completely separately after the fact. So I do that as much as I can. And today I'm joined by a very perfect Music Monday guest, Savage Joy from the Real Progressives. Joy, thank you for being here, first of all.
Thank you for asking me. I've had you 3 times and I'm like, yes, finally, full circle. Here we go.
Well, thank you for having me. And you know, I gotta say I've never seen your savage side. You've always been really, really nice.
Well, that's because I love you. If you piss me off, oh, watch the fuck
Yeah.
out.
All right.
It's on.
All right. I'll have to keep that in mind. I'll have to keep that in mind. So happy Earth Day. It's Earth Day.
Yes.
And it's Music Monday. Which what a combo. You know, on the stream earlier today, I was just like, it's Earth Day, it's Music Monday. I don't know if you're interested, but pretty much every stream I do a song of the day. My song of the day today was On a Turntable by the Interrupters. I don't know if you're familiar with them. They're great.
Yes.
I like them a lot. Are you a fan?
Yes, I only know a few songs, but definitely.
Is On a Turntable one of the songs you know?
No, I haven't heard that one.
Now you know another one. Now you know.
We should pick a song that's like very like hippie because of Earth
I
Day.
thought about that. That was just the song that was like up in my dome piece when I woke up. Like usually it's
No, I
like
mean
whatever's
that's an added
for
bonus.
this one. Yeah, I mean, well, what's your Earth Day soundtrack? Let's start there then.
um, I just saw the production of Hair. So I'm thinking maybe Let the Sunshine In.
Okay.
That's a really beautiful song and it's makes me happy. So I think that would work.
Here Comes the Sun.
No, that's the Beatles. This one
No,
is
I know they're two different songs. I was adding a
yeah,
suggestion.
but that one's amazing too. That's the Beatles, Ron. Jesus.
The wait, what are they called again?
The Beatles.
The Beatles. Wow. Did they go far? How'd they do? They could have went to. I actually I'm one of those like geeks that does stuff like that. Like I'll just be like the Beatles will be playing. I'll be like, these guys could have gone somewhere. And then and nobody finds me humorous. So like everybody's just like, what are you talking about? That's the Beatles. I was like, yeah, all right. One time I did this. I did this at a dinner party, and I embarrassed my fiance in front of all of her friends. We were at this dinner party, and everybody had had a few drinks, including me, and I thought this was hilarious, and like nobody laughed, right? Some music is playing. It was just some Spotify or whatever, and the Red Hot Chili Peppers come on, and I go, "Hey, you guys, does anybody know where the Red Hot Chili Peppers are from? It's not like they don't tell us in like all their songs." And then nobody laughed. Like nobody, like they were like, do they mention it a lot? And they do. I mean,
Yeah,
nothing against the Red Hot Chili Peppers, but they talk about California
a
constantly.
lot.
So that was
Yeah.
like, no one found it humorous. Like nobody laughed at my and I actually told it at the Red Hot Chili Peppers conference of 2018. Not a lot of people know that's an event that happens, but it is. No,
Oh, I
no,
would love to see that.
no, I'm just kidding. That's not a real thing.
Oh,
But
I was like, what?
no, it
They're
was
my
just a
favorite
dinner.
band. I haven't heard of
It was
this.
just a dinner party. It was just and I thought it was.
Oh,
Have you ever seen them live?
9 times.
No
Mhm.
kidding. I've only seen them once. I saw them once with the Who.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw
That's
them.
cool.
So Virgin Records, they used to do this music festival in Baltimore of all places. And it was like just the Virgin Fest or whatever, which you know could mean a lot of different things just on its surface. But it was for the record label Virgin Records. And one year they had the Who headlining, and they also had Red Hot Chili Peppers. And who else was on it? The Killers were on that bill. Wolf Mother was there. Flaming Lips. It was a fantastic show. I mean, I'm not a big music festival guy, but sometimes you know you get a good bang for your buck, and you get to see a little
Mhm.
bit of everything. So I will go on occasion. But
Do you
also,
want to hear my funniest music story?
yes, of
The
course I do.
Killers. Okay, so I've seen them a few times, and I was hanging out with them after a show. This was a few years back, and in Philly, you might know, but in Philly on South Street, they have this big gum tree. It's a tree right outside of the TLA where it has thousands of pieces of chewed up gum on it. And it's like really infamous. So there's like all these colorful pieces of, of gum going all the way down it. And the drummer of the Killers was like standing talking to me. And I was like, okay, well, give me a hug. I got to head out. I have a long drive. And he turns around after the hug. He walks right into it and falls on the ground.
Oh no.
I did that.
Wow.
Yeah, I was
Did you
like, it takes a lot to embarrass me, but that was bad.
did you say to him, clearly you're not a soldier, but you got soul? Did you?
I was like, let's run.
What did he do? Because he was probably way more embarrassed than you were.
He
I mean,
was, because everyone was like, "Oh," it was one of those things, and everyone's like, "Do you need help? Here, let me help you up." Oh my god, mortifying.
did he try to play it off as like good thing
Oh,
I sit for the
totally.
shows, guys.
Totally.
Good thing I'm seated on that throne that I
I'm
get.
just exhausted.
Walking, I'm pretty throws me for a loop.
Death by Gumtree.
Yeah, right. So I did know of the gum tree's existence. I've never seen it, but I do know of its existence because in Seattle there is the gum wall, which is
Ooh.
yeah, it's just a wall. It's the same premise. There's just gum from like all over the place, and they just stick it on the wall. And I think they actually scrubbed it recently, but it was a long going thing, and it's like it's kind of in this little trail that you can take down to Pike Place Market. So it's a kind of cool little funky part of town right near the water. And yeah, so I know the gum wall, so I knew of the gum tree's existence. I've never seen the actual gum tree. I have shown many people the gum wall. It was just one of those insider things like, hey, here's the gum wall.
Well, you and Graham are coming to Philly.
We're going to be in Philly June 14th and 15th, 2 nights, because we're playing a small venue. So we're doing 2 nights in Philadelphia, which I'm stoked about.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun
I've
time.
met you many times, but I haven't met Graham, so I'm so excited.
Now you got your chance. He'll be there. Yeah.
I'm probably gonna attack him with hugs, just like nonstop.
I'm sure he'll be fine with it. He's a good sport. He's a team player. It's yeah, we've been having a lot of fun on that tour. But okay, so Seth Moulton announced today. Did you hear about this?
Yeah. The one thing I like about him is I heard that he was against Nancy Pelosi being reelected. That I'm okay with. Other than that,
I think that's all he's got, though.
It seems that way.
I think that's all he's got. And yeah, I mean, outside of that, it's like it's just more. I mean, he's just one of those very generic whatever, and he's vocally outspoken against single payer. So it's like, all right, there you go. You lost me really quick. And he's got all the name recognition though. There is everybody knows who he is.
Right. And you know what? I think he's the third person in mass, the second dude. So that's just like totally sexist as fuck. Because, I mean, come on, Elizabeth is already running.
There you go. There you go. It's number 19. So, like, I think they're setting it up so that Joe Biden will like be a nice round number. Like he will actually be number 20.
And that's probably how many women will end up coming out about him eventually.
So what do you think's going to happen? Like, are you nervous? What do you think needs to happen to get out of a primary? Let me ask you that. I ask everybody that question. I have my answer. What's your answer? All right.
I am absolutely terrified. Last night I made a post that said I was at Occupy DNC for 6 days and I am going to Minneapolis. I don't care what plays out. I don't care what happens. I will be protesting them again. It's just a matter of for what? Because they're already doing Bernie dirty as expected. I think my biggest fear kind of keeps changing, but I
even your dog is pissed off about this.
I know.
Your dog's like, yeah, bullshit. What are they doing? That's
Yeah,
awesome.
Duchess
Say the
is
word.
Bernie all the way.
You say DNC and it sparks a reaction in your dog.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
pretty.
yeah, because
That's a
I left her for a week, so
well
she's
trained dog.
pissed.
It's like my cat. Whenever my cat sees my merch bag out from under the bed, she gets sad immediately because she knows
Yeah.
that means I'm going away soon. So she gets sad and she gets mopey. So I try to keep it under the bed unless I'm leaving soon. But yeah, for your dog, it's like DNC. Like DNC, no, don't go, don't do it.
She loves Bernie, so she takes after me.
Well, what do you think needs to happen?
Um, well, I think at this point, as many expected, I think it's very obvious that it's just let's get as many people in there so we can stop Bernie. I mean,
Right.
I think it's just patently obvious. So I mean, people are like, Bernie's dividing the vote. And I'm like, between the other 19 people, or like, why don't you guys care about that? So I think, I mean, it was hard working on the campaign last time, but this time, oh my God, it's going to be treacherous. We are going to have to campaign our asses off. Um, because we're going against his last time he wasn't known, so we could just plant the seeds and be like, look, there's this guy, you're gonna love him, this and this. And then now it's going to be like, no, he's not sexist, no, and it's going to be like really difficult. So I
So are
think,
you formally campaigning for him again? Like you're working
oh
on the trail in
fuck
Pennsylvania?
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Oh
Have
yeah.
you been going door to door yet, or what's been going on
No,
so
we
far?
haven't started that yet. We have our official kickoff on the 27th. And there's over 5,000 parties set up to kick it off across the US.
Wow.
So
How
yeah,
many are you gonna hit up?
two, because there are only
Not
ones in
bad.
my area.
Not bad.
Um, but yeah, I'm just gonna, I mean, it gets me so hype. I miss it so much. So I'm ready. But I think like it's going to be more difficult. It's, already I find myself, I don't want to be one of those people who gets very ugly online. And last night I kind of, I felt myself just kind of like getting not joy because somebody
Mm.
just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And I was like, really, what offends me is when Hillary calls, Bill's accusers of, being walking bimbo explosions when they're rape victims. And, I just kind of went there and I'm like, it's true, but I don't want to go there.
So it was all savage, no joy, is what you're saying.
It was. It
All right.
was.
All right. Well, I mean, here's the thing. Some of the super delegates are already saying how they're just gonna
Oh
kneecap
yeah.
Bernie. Like that's their plan. Like if it moves to like they don't even care. Like they're not even gonna look at where the votes are at. If it moves to the second ballot, they're kneecapping Bernie. That's their agenda.
Yeah.
So how do we? I mean, the way I see it, and let me know if you agree or disagree. I want to see Bernie and Tulsi team up because I think that if we're not so, and this is kind of paraphrasing something Lee Camp says a lot, if we're not so loud and big that they can't get away with cheating us, like we're so loud and so big that either we don't bring it to a second round or it's just so loud and big and apparent that they can't cheat us, no progressive is making it out of a primary. They're going to shove a centrist down our throats, and that centrist is going to lose to Trump anyway. That's what I think will happen.
Absolutely. I agree. And, I'm not certain that Tulsi is working with Bernie. I can't say for sure. I was on one of her conference calls with her team, and it sounded, she was kind of speaking in a way that was kind of safe. So I'm not sure if that was like,
she's got a good poker face.
she does. And I mean, I would love if she would just say, I'm dropping Bernie, here's my delegates. Part of me wants to believe, like I've met Tulsi, she's very sweet. We had a great conversation. I wrote her in as VP when I wrote Bernie in. But I just don't know. I really hope she's not the type of person that would run against him, because not to be like, it's her turn, but like he deserves this shit. He was cheated last time. We were cheated last time.
Well, I think it's just about who has the momentum. I mean, if I could design my just perfect ticket that I think would be just the best, like optimal ticket that we can hope for, I would actually put Bernie as VP and Tulsi as Prez just for optics sake. But right now, so much of the momentum is more with Bernie that it will be the other way around. It will be Bernie president, Tulsi VP. I'd support it either way. I mean, I'm totally, it's not like that's like, oh no, like, of course I would still support it 100% either way. And that's fine. I feel like the two have been in communication. So, well, I don't know exactly what's going on either. Neither one of us are in their brains, but I know that they've been communicating. I have a feeling that that's the plan. And part of this could be my optimism coming out because I think otherwise we're fucked.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, I think otherwise we have no chance. And that's just the reality. That's why when people debate the nitty gritty between the two of them, that's fine. It's fine to have the conversation. But at the end of the day, look, neither one is perfect. Neither one is ever going to be. They're both humans with flaws. I think they complement each other very well. I think some of the areas where Bernie's a little weaker, Tulsi's stronger, and vice versa. But either way, if they don't team up, we're not getting out of a primary. I just don't see it happening. And yeah, that would suck. It's just like we don't get out of front, and then we're stuck with, and that's why they're setting up this Democratic clown car where they just added another clown to the car.
They would rather, just like last time, they would absolutely rather Trump than Bernie. I mean, they make that blatantly clear every freaking day. I mean, they don't want progressive ideals. It's going to hurt their pockets. And we threaten them because we want change and they're terrified. But yeah, I mean, my dream would be burn and turn 2020. Like, that's my absolute dream. I think Nina would be like the most kick-ass VP ever, but I think it needs to be.
I don't think she wants the gig. I don't think she wants the gig, though.
Well, did you see the video of me and her interacting on Sunday?
No, but what happened?
I met her again, and I was like, Nina, I was like, just so you know, we're burn and turn 2020. And I was like, let Bernie know. And she's like, burn and turn. I said, yes, burn and turn. Tell him.
So you think maybe that changed her mind? Maybe she's like, that exactly. This has a beautiful rhyme.
She was back like, Yeah, I mean,
I'd be fine with that. I mean, if it was Tulsi's Secretary of State, Nina Bernie, I'd still, again, I'm still supporting. Like, what better? Sure. You know what I mean? Like, but I've heard Nina doesn't really want.
I don't think she does either.
Yeah, I don't think she, and I don't blame her. I like her where she's at. I think that, she wanted to be involved with the campaign to help Bernie, which is great. And I think she could potentially make a run in the future, which I'd be super stoked for. I would love to. I mean, hell, I can't imagine a scenario where I would ever actually work on a campaign, just because it's just not the side of the fence that I land on. Like, it just isn't. But if ever I were to make an exception at the presidential level, I feel like Nina Turner would be that exception.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be like, wow, I'd be tempted. And if I ever made that exception in general, it would probably be something at the local level. Like, it'd be like somebody I know is running for city council or whatever. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Well, Bernie said his VP would be younger and a woman. Yeah. He made that statement. And I think that's so obvious because we knew that last time either. And from inside sources, I do know for a fact that Tulsi was his VP choice from 2016.
Okay. So. All right. Well, there you go. Awesome. So what's been kind of the weirdest thing you've seen on the campaign trail so far?
Freaking Ann Coulter saying she might vote for Bernie. Like, what?
if only he was more hateful. That was the fun part about it. I mean, that was funny. It was a fun thing to talk about because it's like, how can you not just sort of address that? It's just a goofy whatever. But it's like when you look into the optics, it was just like, if he was only a little, if he was more hateful, I'd be on board.
Yeah, exactly. Do you think that he's gonna get dirtier this time? Like, because
Bernie?
he was so nice to Hillary. Like, people are ridiculous. Like, he wags his fingers, so he's sexist. He campaigns 31 dates for her, but do you think he's finally, I feel like he's got a bit of dirtiness to him. Not dirtiness, but like he's more brash this time.
More brash, sure. I mean, I think so. But as far as like abandoning, diplomacy, I don't think he's going to do that. No. I mean, I think that I think he has no desire to go that route. To the point where like sometimes I find it frustrating that he's not.
Yeah.
I think he's overly diplomatic to the establishment.
Yeah.
But I get it. He's trying to be president. I get it. But it's like, Bernie, they're still going to screw you no matter what.
Exactly.
Whether you're a little more outspoken or not, they're still trying to screw you. It doesn't matter. I mean, you could bend the knee live on camera for everyone to see. They're still going to try to screw you, and you're just going to piss off some of your base. So why do it is my question. But I'm not, I don't have the answer to that. But so no, I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he's gonna engage in the mudslinging. Which in some ways I admire that about him. In other ways, I kind of wish he would get a little more gritty when it's warranted.
Right. Right. Exactly.
What do you think?
His new campaign manager is kind of a badass. He's pretty savage at times. So I like it because he kind of does it for him in a way. And like Roe, Miss Nina, and a few other people on his team called out Buttigieg last night because of his bullshit. Did you see that video?
I didn't see. I know what you're talking about. I did not see the actual video. Buttigieg lost me a long time ago.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they all did. It's all like this. It's just the same. Like they do a platitude bullshit of like, hey, we're not Trump. And then they slowly take the mask off that. Oh, and we also don't support any progressive policies whatsoever. It's like it's just a DNC Democratic establishment connect the dots game at this point. And it's like I don't see and even in the hypothetical that one of them makes it to a general, they're gonna lose to Trump. Like they're not gonna beat Trump because you can't just be. We tried it before. Hey, I'm not this guy and he's a jerk. That's not enough. That doesn't win an election. And that's all they offer. That's all they offer because that's all the donors will let them offer. And it's such a gross field.
It's going to be harder for whoever they pick to beat Pence than Trump.
Wait, I'm sorry. Repeat that.
Because everyone's like obsessed about impeachment. Let's just say that we got Pence. I feel like it's going to be harder because people are going to be like, we got to give Pence a try.
Yeah.
Like,
I've been saying that. I've been saying that from the beginning. I mean, I think impeachment would be such a dumb move politically.
Yes.
Like, because it's like now the GOP distances themselves from the unpopularities of Trump, but they can also cling to the popularities. And then they have somebody who is, by the way, much more dangerous in office just because he's actually efficient, which is Mike Pence. Mike Pence could really get some evil done. Not that Trump hasn't, but Pence could really accelerate that a good bit, I think, if given the opportunity and if he were to, get in office and then the midterms would, So yeah, I'm with you. I think it's kind of a politically tone deaf thing, but that's what we're dealing with. I mean, it's been this way for a long, long time, and it's only gotten worse. There is no organization better at snatching defeat from the jaws of victory than the Democratic Party. It's a parody of itself at this point, and it's because our Overton window is grossly far to the right, to the point where we just really have one party, and it's the money party.
Well, do you think that to me, Warren is such an opportunist so many times, but it seems like she wanted to be the first one to be like, ha, I bowed down to you and got your stupid DNA test and it was a failure. So now I'm going to announce I want you impeached and I'm going to get like all this victory. And it's working. I mean, people think she's the greatest thing in the world because she's, she wants him impeached.
Elizabeth Warren? Really?
She was the first candidate to speak out on it.
yeah, I mean, I don't know if like people are loving her now. I know her poll numbers are still like only so, but yeah, I mean, my thing with her is every now and again she'll be attached to a piece of policy where you kind of turn your head and you're like, oh shit, that's awesome. But then you kind of are like, okay, let me proceed with caution. This is Elizabeth Warren, who has been an opportunist in the past, who has been a grandstander in the past. So, you know, you kind of proceed with the utmost caution. While I do not think she is bad as the rest of the establishment candidates, I think she's better than a Cory Booker. She's better than a Kamala Harris. She's better than a Pete Buttigieg. She's better than Moulton. You know, list goes on and on. I'm very, very skeptical.
Yeah.
Proceed with caution.
Some people want her as VP, and I'm telling you,
it's not going to happen.
Me and Bernie will be divorced. Well, we'll be separated. I won't divorce him, but we'll be separated because I'll be hurt. I'll be like,
it's not going to happen. Just because of optics.
Not.
Just because of optics, it's not going to happen because he can't. You know, she's an older. So
well,
he has to have somebody younger. Like, that's just optics. A lot of people said that's why. Well, one of the many, many reasons why Hillary wouldn't consider picking Bernie, because it's like, well, you can't have two older people. And it's like, yeah, but you know, you can bend the rule when that person starts a movement. When the person's responsible for a political movement, you can kind of bend that optics rule, which isn't even a real rule, by the way, but it's just an optics thing. You can bend it when they start a movement. Of course, you know, they didn't do that anyway because they had no interest in it, but you know, we all know what happened next. But
WikiLeaks leaked the her list of potential vice president candidates, and he was like 30 something, and he was last. Bernie.
And there was an eye rolling emoji right next to his name.
Yeah.
So before we go here, I want some music recommendations from you. It is Music Monday. This is Music Monday chat. What do I need to listen to? What does the Get Your News on with Ron community need to listen to?
Yes.
Oh, the yes. Oh, I thought you're just qualified. Like, yeah, I got it. All right. All right. So I actually they blew me away live, and Karen O is an amazing front woman, and you know, I mean, every guy my age has had a crush on Karen O at some point. I'm no different.
Well, I'm straight and I've had a crush on her.
What's so I got really into Fever to Tell, and then I really kind of didn't follow them since then. So what have I missed out on?
Well, I mean, their newer stuff is great as well. It's not as I would say maybe not as organic in a way, but they definitely still have some, like, you want to just like, rah, you know.
Yeah.
And Karen is coming out with a new solo album. I'm not sure how I feel about that because I want to see them as a band again. But I'm sure it'll kick ass because it's her.
Well, do you prefer Jenny Lewis solo or Rilo Kiley?
I'm not really a huge fan of either.
Oh, okay.
I don't dislike them. But yeah, I mean, I guess I'm kind of okay with both.
All right, fair enough. I didn't know if you were, No, it's just because sometimes I think with the Yeahs, because I really like the band, that, I see what you're saying. But like, there's other for instances where sometimes it's like when you take the songwriter away from that band, it's almost like it's more what they're trying to do. And I like Rilo Kiley and I like Jenny Lewis, but some of the guitar work in that Rilo Kiley stuff, I just don't feel like it matches her songwriting. And it almost comes off as like mildly cheesy. And like, I appreciate the instrumentation, but I feel like it's almost like it's almost like it's a cool looking hat, but it doesn't fit the outfit, that sort of thing. And even though I still like those records and I still like the music, I kind of almost wish like, gee, I like this stuff, but I might like these songs even better if they were just Jenny Lewis songs. You know what I mean? So,
right.
So, but you know, there's always that struggle. Okay, so yes. Hit me with some more. Hit me with something I haven't heard of.
Well, ooh, that's difficult. Um, okay, how about this? I forget which time, but one of the times I saw Queens of the Stone Age, they had someone open called the Dough Rollers.
All right, I've never heard of the Dough Rollers.
They're like the sons of like Harrison Ford and like some like weird actors. It's kind of
Seriously?
bizarre,
So
but they do
are they based in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, where Harrison Ford is?
no, I'm not sure
They
what.
live
No,
out
they're
there.
in New York. But
Oh,
they have
okay.
like a stand-up bass. Dude has a really distinct voice. Um, so you could check them out. Try to think.
Which one is Harrison's kid?
I'm not sure. I think he's the stand-up bass dude.
Yeah, he has the stand-up bass. And
Yeah,
does he have like a whip with him like that? He just like and then he
that would
plays.
be amazing. I gotta admit, someone that kind of disappeared, like Interpol. I was listening to
Oh,
them
you're big on
yesterday.
Interpol.
Yeah, I mean, Joy Division I still listen to a lot. Someone I my husband played all the time and I was like, yeah, all right, was Arcade Fire. And then I saw them in concert and they freaking blew me away.
That's what everyone says. I've never seen Arcade Fire live, but
Oh my
everyone I know,
God.
they're like they put on a fuck of a live show.
Yeah, there
And
was like over 20 people on stage and it was just a party. Yeah, for sure.
see, that's another thing. Like the last thing I got into with them was Neon Bible, which was a great record, and then I kind of just, like there was that really fun wave in like the early mid aughts that was like it was just so much like New Pornographers were at the top of their game, Arcade Fire was at the top of their game, Ockerville River was at the top of their game, and then it just sort of fizzled a little bit, and then you're just like, oh, what are they up to now? And then you find out, oh, I missed like 4 or 5 records, which I mean that's says more about me than anything else, that I'm just like whatever, scattered or just trying to look for other stuff, and then it's I tend to kind of get comfortable and then
Yeah.
just sort of have like my standard rotation, and right now it's very very Hold Steady centric, and then I like Japan Droids a lot, and it's kind of in that nucleus right now, but then I'm also I'm really into a guy out of Portland named David Rovix, who has been around for years and years, and I've listened to him for a long time. But I finally got to see him, so now it's like that. Like that's like re-sparked an interest. He's an anarchist singer songwriter guy, a lot of protest music, and then I've been getting into an artist named Evan Greer. She's amazing. She works for Fight for the Future, so she's a big net neutrality advocate, and she also makes great music. So I've reconnected with a lot of kind of riot folky type stuff. But all right, so before we go, favorite live show that you've ever seen?
Well, here's a shocker you might not know about me. I've seen Madonna 8 times.
That is interesting and
I
very
had a
cool.
tattoo of her for over 20 years too.
I didn't know any of that stuff.
Yep. Yep. She's like the goddess of live shows. So probably her, yeah.
Which time?
I think the last time was the best. It was like three
When was
years
it?
ago.
All
What's
right.
that?
No, I was
Yeah,
asking
she had
when.
like freaking what's that?
I was just asking you when. I was qualifying.
Oh, I
So
thought
3
you were
years ago.
saying I win. I was like, yeah.
It's not a competition. Not a competition here.
Yeah, she had like Cirque du Soleil, like
Oh,
it was just bananas.
that's
So
so cool.
she kicks ass. I gotta say I've grown away from her as a person because she was such a shill. So it really broke my heart the way she was
Really.
like, "I'll suck any guy's dick who will vote for Hillary." I'm like, "Oh man, you just like you've been my idol for 2 decades, and you just."
I don't know.
Um,
I don't know anything about her politically. I've never seen anything from her. I mean, I'm sure she has views in a bit, but I have no idea what they are.
yeah, she was Hillary, all
I
right.
didn't know about that offer either. I did not
Yeah,
see that.
yeah. So, but I would say she's probably as good as it gets as far as and Prince. Prince was awesome.
Oh, you saw? Oh, I never got to see Prince. Man, there was that span of just breaking my because Prince died, and I missed Prince. I missed Bowie. I missed Leonard Cohen, and then they all just started dropping like flies, all willy nilly. And
I
it's
saw
like,
Nirvana.
Oh, now I'm really envious. When did you see
The
Nirvana?
Breeders opened.
Oh,
Now that was a badass show.
that is amazing. When did you get to go
Yeah.
to that? What year?
I was like 15 and I'll be
Okay.
40 next month.
All right.
So I was in high school, and I knew it was awesome, but I don't think I like understood like
What it was gonna
how
be.
awesome it was. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. But yeah, the Prince one was badass because it was like a 2.5 hour show, and the first half was just him and a guitar on the stage. That's
Mhm.
it. And then the second half was like a full band, and he closed with Purple Rain. And my friend and I was with, literally sobbed for like 10 minutes after the show ended. And they're like, "You guys have to leave." And we're like, "We're just give us a minute."
What did Nirvana close with when you saw them? Do you remember?
I believe they closed with "Smells Like Teen Spirit"
Oh, really?
because which I was cool with because I was like, I'm so over this song. Like, so they played. It was the In Utero tour,
Okay.
so they played like really, good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, they got really sick of playing that song live. And then I think
Mhm.
typically if because I don't think it was the Breeders, but when L7 opened for them, some of like the audience was like shitty to L7. And so like they would punish the audience by not playing Smells Like Teen Spirit because
Ah.
Kurt really got upset about stuff like that. So yeah. I've read about that. I never got to see Nirvana. I missed that. I think I started listening to them. Right. I was like, oh, these guys are great, and that's like, yeah, he's dead. Ah, shit. Like, that's kind of how it went down for me. I literally think I got like unplugged like right after it came out, and I was like, who is this? And then I got everything, and
Mhm.
then I found out, oh, he's dead. But but then that opened a whole kind of can of worms for me, and in a good way. Like because Kurt Cobain and the rest of the band, they were always good about wearing T-shirts of bands they liked, and
Yes.
when you're just kind of a nerdy kid in the suburbs who does not really have much access to any culture, you could look at those T-shirts and then go to your local national record mart and try to find as much of that music as you could.
Yeah,
And
I
then that
saw
was
the Meat Puppets recently, like a
I
year
did
ago.
too. I did too. I saw them in LA actually for free. They did a free park show in downtown LA. It
They
was
When I saw them, they opened for Built to Spill. Do you know who that is?
so I really like Built to Spill's music, but I will say they have immensely disappointed me live twice.
Oh, I've seen
Maybe
them a few times.
a lot of people are either like I know there are some people that feel the way I do, where they're like, yeah, live, they just and maybe it's just they're inconsistent live. I have no idea. But they immensely disappointed me live two times. I've actually
Wow.
walked out of Built to Spill shows. It was just like they were clearly not into it at all. They were only playing like their kind of more progressive music catalog. So they were just drawing these songs out for like 20 minutes, but it wasn't good. They were just repeating the same thing over and over again. And
Aw.
my favorite part of Built to Spill's catalog is the early punky, the pop punky stuff,
Mhm.
which I understand you've progressed from that, but like, would it kill you to play a couple songs from that era? Like would it kill you, or at least to like just be the band that you are? And so yeah, I was disappointed by Built to Spill twice. It could have just been the shows. I don't know. And then they came out for an encore the one time I saw them, and people are screaming for a million different songs because their set consisted of, and I'm not even embellishing, like 5 songs because
Oh, man.
they drew all their songs out for like 20 minutes a pop. It felt like so they barely played anything in their set. So they come out for an encore. People are screaming for a million different songs, and they do a cover of "While My Guitar Gently Weeps," and that's how which is a great song. Don't get me wrong, but that's not what I wanted them to play.
Right.
So it was, yeah. But anyway, I like their music. I'm still a Built to Spill fan, but if they were ever, I wouldn't. I feel like if you disappoint me twice, I'm good. Like I don't need to go
Yeah.
again. I don't need to try again. The second time I saw them, I was even kind of like, they really disappointed me live, but I went because I wanted to see Camper Van Beethoven, and
Oh.
Camper was opening for them, so I went for that reason. And then, my girlfriend at the time was like, I'm over this if you're over this. And we actually left the Built to Spill show early. So,
Wow.
but other people say they're great. I mean, it could have just been that 2 times they happen to be off, or maybe I just don't appreciate what they do live. I don't know. Like, it's not, but that's my personal experience.
What about Neutral Milk Hotel?
Seen them twice, loved it both times.
I saw him twice too.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And I've seen Jeff Mangum solo too.
Me too.
Yeah.
I actually liked him solo better than Neutral Milk Hotel.
I liked them both. I really love seeing that band play live because they make all the instrumentation happen, and it's just the 5 of them. So seeing like this dude go from playing like lead guitar to playing a saw, I think that's just really badass. And the guy who does all the horns, and they're so into it that it's like you'd think that they made that album last week. Meanwhile, they made it. It's been over 20 years, like almost 25 years. It'll be the 20th anniversary next year, won't it? Because Aeroplane came out in 95, so it'll be the 20th. I wonder if they'll do something. I feel like they need to. Let's tweet them.
Yeah. Well,
Let's let them know.
Okay. So I can't teach you a damn thing, but I'm gonna tell you one more, and I bet you don't
teach
know
me a
who
lot,
she
but
is.
okay.
What's that?
You can teach me a lot, but okay.
Okay, how about Bishop Briggs?
Nope, not familiar.
I don't know if you'd like her, to be honest.
Right.
She's got a little bit of hip hop in her, but actually,
I like hip hop.
She collaborated with Coldwell Kids, who's my other favorite band. And her voice, whoa. So yeah, check her out.
All right, I will.
Or at least I give you one.
All right, and it's what is it, Bishop what?
Briggs, Briggs.
Bishop Briggs. All right, so Bishop Briggs, and I got to revisit the Yeah Yeah Yeahs, and then I got to see the Harrison Ford Doughboys, right? Like
yes. Dough Rollers.
Dough Rollers. All right, my short term is just gone. Joy, where can people find you?
I am on Real Progressives, Savage Joy. There's over 300 shows on YouTube. And I typically do every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Brilliant. All right. Thanks so much for doing this. Check out Savage Joy and the Real Progressives. This has been Get Your News On with Ron, a Music Monday chat, and we will catch you next time. Peace.
Thank you so much.